poppin'? You rockin' with Hurricane, and I'm rockin' with the debut. Right now, it's facts with Flat. You dig?
So before getting into music and becoming this polarizing star that you are today, would you say your environment played a role in influencing the man you are today?
Yeah, definitely. My environment played a big role in who I am. Made me want something out of life, you know. I grew up in poverty. Like, everybody around me was broke, so I wanted something and I wanted to change my people's situation. So, I had grind since a young age. Like, a lot of my cousins, a lot of people used to ask grandma for money.
Yeah.
I was the one who was gonna go hustle and have my own bankroll. I had a bankroll since I was a little boy. I was little, probably like 7 years old. I had a knot like that.
For sure. So growing up around that type of environment, knowing what was against you, did you have any other outlets early on in life to kind of take your mind away from it? Or was music always the therapeutic way out?
Yeah, music was the only way out for me. Like, I ain't never had nothing else that took me away from my environment and gave me a better chance to be in a safer environment, doing something I love to do. Music, that's it. Like, that was my savior.
For sure.
That and God.
So I heard you say in the interview that you come from a kind of religious background. You had grandparents that were religious and they were really spiritual. So how much would you say that their involvement in your life played a role into you staying focused with your music?
Their involvement ain't really helped me stay focused on my music because they were so old-fashioned and old school. Like, they didn't want me to stay at the studio after hours or do nothing out of the ordinary. They wanted me to go to school and focus on that. I kind of was bucking the system and I wasn't listening. When I was supposed to be at school, I was at somebody's studio recording and grandma was coming banging on the door to get me up out of that thing.
So around that time, what would you say a normal day for Hurricane Chris would have been like around that time?
Go to school, do first period. After first period, we leave school. My partner had an apartment across the street, and we just go thug in the apartments all day. Until the school principal and the security guard come bang on the door to get us, and we jumping off back balconies, second floor, like every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's wild. That's wild. So you started rapping at 10, right?
Yeah, I started rapping around like 10, 11.
So was there a particular song, album at that time that registered to you and made you want to get into music more?
I grew up off a lot of 8-Ball, MJG, and Boosie, CeeLo, like people like that out of Louisiana. Like, I really listened to our music, like, and I also listened to a lot of other music, like Spice One and stuff like that.
For sure. So would you say that, because me personally, I feel like there are similarities of you listening to like Bone Thugs or Twister. That was kind of like the feel I got when I first heard you rap. I was like, he sounds like a better version, by all respects, of Twister or Bone Thugs. Would you agree?
When I first started rapping, I used to rap real fast, so that's probably why you say that. Like,
yeah,
that was the only way I rapped.
But I could hear you. It wasn't like you was just mumbling. It was like you were actually talking about something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So where would you say that come from?
It come from listening to people like Twister and Bone Thugs and Harmony. Like, I used to listen to them a lot as well, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely felt like it was something I can do. So, back in the gap, that's really how I used to rap, real fast.
Okay, so quick second, favorite Bone Thug song?
See You at the Crossroad.
Okay. Not First of the Month?
Nah. And I'm gonna miss everybody. That. I remember the video like still to this day. Every time I see a graveyard, I think about that video.
See, I used to get up and get ready for school to that song, man. I don't know why, but it just made me feel like I was finna get up and do something with my day.
Yeah.
Bone Thugs and Twister to me back then don't get the credit they deserve. They were more than just, I rap fast and I got flavor. It was like they were talking about poverty, everyday life, growing up, kind of like what you do. So a lot of, that's why it registered to me when I saw you and I heard your music. I was like, man, y'all sure he didn't grow up in their era? You know, like it's you
I
were
just
you.
was like the thing about me was my daddy used to buy every album that came out. So I had a stupid collection of music at a young age sitting at the house. I used to take all my daddy cassette tapes and take them in my room and put them in my radio. So everything that ever came out, I got a chance to listen to it. He bought every tape that came out.
Shout out to Pops, man.
You know, so my daddy really influenced me to really rock with this music.
Okay. So would you say that being a young bull, hanging around the older kids, running around your neighborhood, and the ones that saw potential in you early, would you say that they gave you a sense of confidence to keep going, or was that always instilled in you?
Say that again?
When you were like growing up, you know, you said that you were running around the neighborhood with a couple of your friends, you would rap in front of their house after school, you know, did that in a sense give you confidence
Oh,
to
hell
keep
yeah,
going?
that gave me confidence because
Yeah.
I used to get that respect and that gratitude from all of my siblings. Like, it got to the point where I was in probably elementary, middle school, and high school kids was piled up outside my house to hear me rap. My grandma coming outside saying, stop all that noise. So, you know, I definitely love, you know, the respect and the attention I got from my peers.
Yeah. So what was going through your mind growing up and knowing that you have a gift to get your family out of poverty? Like, cause there has to be a lot on a person that young with a gift so great.
I was thinking I gotta get my people out the hood. You know, we really came from the trenches. So
For sure.
my main thing in my head was I gotta get my mama a house. We had eviction notices on the door, so like that was stuck in the back of my brain, you know.
Yeah.
I knew we was like a day away from getting kicked out at any time, you know, so I had hustling on my mind.
For sure. Would you say that that hustle and then turned into a hunger to where you went on a run with music? Because you had A Bay, Players Rock, you know, Halle Berry, you had more than a couple hits. Would you say that that came from just work ethic, or was that the hunger more than you wanted to really just work at music?
I think it's both.
Both.
I wanted to fix my family situation, and I had a passion for music, you know, which I still got. So the combination together made millions of dollars. Still making paper to this day. Like my catalog doing numbers. Like, Drake just redid a version of Drop and Give Me 50. Sexy Red just redid a version of Halle Berry. Like a couple months ago, A Baby was the biggest thing on TikTok with the Lil dance shit. So it's like I'm implanted into the history of hip hop, and
So
it's just crazy for me to sit back and watch this music continue to recycle itself and be a part of every era that come about.
because that was my next question. I was gonna ask you, how do you feel about Drake dropping the diss and sampling that song? Because you know a lot of artists don't like it. They feel like it take away from the original project. Did you feel like that, or were you just like, fuck it, it shine for me, it shine for everybody?
Hell nah, because at the end of the day, like that's a check for me.
For sure.
That's a check for me. Like
Sure.
when somebody sample my music or do some of my music, that's a check for me. Like I can't get mad at that. I'm doing everything I can do to make sure it go through.
Yeah. Business is business, man. That's how I look at it. It ain't nothing personal. It's just, you know, that's your craft. That's what you worked on. You don't want nobody to just come take a piece of it and run off with it. So
Yeah,
I
I'm getting
definitely agree
paid for
with
sure. I'm getting paid.
Hey,
Definitely.
better. So with you know taking some time off and then coming back to the game, how did you stay connected with your fans? Because a lot of people still listen to you the same. A lot of people still look at you the same. Nobody look at you like it was a drop off. You know, it's kind of like you never left.
I think the songs that I made was so much like they was a part of hip hop, and I was able to take a break and come back because the songs is like they implanted in the hip hop. These classics, like you put me in an arena right now, and it could be 10, 15,000 people. If I perform A Baby, it's gonna sound like a stampede is happening when I start making them clap their hands. Like I just made classics, bro, and when you make classics, you could chill for a minute and come back, and you still gonna be able to hit the road, tour, do shows, and your music gonna be recycled forever. Like that's just part of making classics.
For sure. For sure. So out of the classics that you made, which one you had the most fun making?
I had the most fun making Players Rock because it was my first time in Atlanta, and I knew I was doing a song that was a big sample from a big group, Earth, Wind, and Fire. College Park made the beat, you know, and I knew it was a hit off the dunk, Players Rock.
So how was it working with College Park?
Man, that's my dog still to this day. Like, we still doing business, still chopping up bread to this day. Like, I gotta go pull up on him right now to handle some business with some paper. Like, I'm still getting checks from College Park to this day. So he ain't never, you know, that's my dog, you know. I ain't got nothing but that to say about him, you feel me? Nothing but respect, it's love.
So did that relationship build off chemistry from the studio, or did you guys have a personal relationship before the music?
He just always been a real dude outside of the industry. Like, he signed me and it was business that day, but after that, it was just somebody that I hung out with, and we drank and we chill and we go hang out, and he just like me. So, you know, just somebody I could always come to and talk to about any problems I had with the business, you know.
Respect.
Like, still to this day, like, he helping me solve problems still to this day.
And that's actually hard to find in the industry. Good people, a good team.
Yeah, he was a real big brother to me, like, and he's still that. He's still a big brother. Like,
that's love, man. So how do you stay authentic and true to yourself in an industry that can sometimes prioritize image over substance?
If you prioritize image over substance, then, I mean, maybe you don't have nothing but image to offer. But I always led with music, and that's what's been important to me from the beginning.
For sure.
Like, everything else, you know, that shit come second. That shit come last, you know, or wherever it come at. But the music, that's always been the most important thing to me, you feel me? Of course, I can't downplay the fact that the image and all of that shit do play a major part in the music industry, but you could be fly and nobody could pay attention to that shit still if the music bullshit, you know. You feel me? Like, I'm gonna lead with the music. Like, I'm gonna keep it real, raw, and authentic. You feel me?
And I agree with that. With a lot of your music, it's real, it's authentic, it's true, it's you. I've never really seen where you did music and your image overshadowed the music. It was more so of you could show up in here with a regular t-shirt and Wrangler jeans, but your music could still be the same. You get what I'm saying? Everybody some people need an image in order to be seen, whereas I felt like you never needed an image.
Yeah, I mean, I started out making ratchet music. So, I mean, that say a lot for itself. Like, my music was always something that the hood related to, the people who ain't have a bunch of money related to, you feel me? So it ain't never been about no bunch of flashy shit. It's always been about, like, you know, you feel me, like, what's really going on, you feel me?
So you're more so tapped in with, you know, the pulse of the streets. It's not so much I'm just trying to do this, drop a check. It's more so the people like this, I'm gonna give it to them. And I fuck with that because I think the game has gotten away from that now. It's more so of if TikTok run with it, or if this person can post it a couple times, we can make a check. And I don't really like the music. You know, it's kind of like I hear it one week and then the next week is, you know, it's gone. So
you got a bunch of shit that's like that these days. You know, it's a different era. So I just be sitting back watching this shit. You got fly by shit that come and go. It's just where we at with 2024. But Kane, I'm gonna make that shit that's gonna last.
For sure. So as someone who has done well in the industry, what's your best advice you could give a rapper on how to handle pressure, fame, or success?
Man, just make the money. Don't let the money make you. Before you spend that money, make sure you flipping that money and putting that money somewhere where it can make more money. Like, before you go buy that big, stupid, dumb, ignorant, gigantic ass chain, go buy you a couple real estate houses and make sure that you're gonna be able to flip them and make you some paper. Go ahead and make you some paper. It ain't gonna take that long. Make you some paper and then do the dumb shit. I know the first thing you wanna do, you feel like you gotta go buy that whip, you gotta go buy that chain, but you gotta go and put that paper in rotation. You waited this long, now you got some paper, wait a little longer, and you're gonna be able to buy all the shit you wanna buy. But you gotta do the right thing with your money.
For sure, bro. And you're right, that's a trend I see. A guy makes 100,000, he even go spend 80 of that on the chain. I don't understand the logic behind it because you still got features, videos, you know, you might want to look good for this video. How you gonna do that if you just spent 80,000 on the chain and you ain't got number 20,000 though?
Yeah, you gotta put that money in a good place where it's gonna make money. You know, you gotta balance it out. Everything work with balance. You wanna be fly at the same time.
Yeah.
But you gotta balance that shit out. You can't go broke, be a broke, stupid, fly ass nigga.
So I want to pivot a little bit because a lot of people, I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of people from where I'm from, which is South Mississippi, we were drawn to you more so beyond music. It was more so if we met somebody we felt like was a real individual, we give it to you raw, there's no faking, it's 100% authentic, right? So I want to ask you a question. Do you feel that with all the drama you had with your case, do you feel like that was the toughest challenge you ever had to face mentally? And how did you get through it?
Yeah, that was one of the toughest challenges for me mentally, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, I'm really all about love and respect, and I don't never wish no harm on nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want everybody to make it home safe every day, you feel me? So I definitely wasn't looking for no situation for me to try to earn those stripes and try to rep off and do no clout chasing type shit.
Sure.
It was a very unfortunate situation, you understand what I'm saying, that I wish didn't happen, you understand what I'm saying? So it's like, it definitely affected me because I had to watch, you know, a family go through that whole situation. So that's something that still affect me to this day. Like, you know, I would never want to see your mama, nobody in her mama go through nothing like that. You understand what I'm saying? And that's just to keep it real, you know, to keep it all the way 1,000. You feel me? That's why I practice I try to practice what I preach, which is respect everything around you and hope you get that same respect back. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
For sure.
you got a lot of cats that want to do shit and try to make a name off the shit that they did. It just ain't never been my style. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I look at it as an unfortunate situation for both parties.
Sure.
You understand what I'm saying? And,
Sure.
and that's what it is for me.
And the reason I ask is because I know a lot of young people out there who feel like that's the way to go. Like, you have to earn stripes to make this person scared of you or make this person respect you. But I feel like it more so paints a target on your back more than gets you respect. Because if I see you across the room thinking you the toughest guy in here, naturally I might feel like, well, let me see if he actually that tough. But I feel like if you move in a room with mystique and nobody knows anything, they probably won't say nothing to you.
Yeah, you're going to get what you put out. Whatever energy you put out, it's going to return to you. Like, whatever you asking for, it's a God that's going to make sure you get it.
Every time.
Whatever you got on your mind.
For sure. So how do your lyrics reflect your personal growth and changes in life right now?
Man, they really reflect my personal growth as far as what I learned about people and just relationships and things of that nature. Just relationships going bad and having life experiences that taught me, you know, that trust is something that I'm still learning to understand. You'll hear a lot of that in my music when you listen to Hurricane Season 2. You'll hear a lot of lyrical development as well, like, you know, I'm definitely on a whole nother level than I was when you first heard me.
For sure. For sure. So, with the expectations of the industry being the way they are, how do you balance beliefs and what you feel is right so that you can stay in tune with your contract or whatever it is you're doing in the music industry? How do you balance your beliefs and also, you know, abiding by whatever it is you're supposed to do within the music industry?
I mean, I really don't abide by what I'm supposed to do in the music industry. I kind of just like, I'm me.
Do what works.
I really don't follow no rules or try to fit inside of no mold. You know, I break the mold. So I'm me. I'm Hurricane. Like, I ain't come out in the internet era, so I ain't got to follow none of this. Like, I was out before Instagram. I was out before all of this shit. So it's like, I've been here and I'm going to be here. You know, regardless, I wasn't made on the internet, you feel me? So, like, I ain't really playing the internet game or following no internet rules. I'm just doing me, you feel me?
For sure.
Yeah.
So do you feel like the era was better before social media, or did you feel like the music industry got better once social media, Twitter, TikTok came into
Oh
play?
no, it's definitely better now. Shit, it's the money on a whole nother level right now.
Yeah.
Like, and the artists that's coming out these days, like, you got some hot ass artists coming out. Like, they done took music and flipped this shit to a whole nother level. Now this shit on 400 degrees right now. Like,
For sure.
these young niggas coming with some dumb shit right now. Like,
So anybody you see up and coming that you would want to work with?
man, a lot of motherfuckers I see up and coming I want to work with. Like,
If
a
you could
lot of
name
'em.
two right now, who would you choose?
Shit, I fuck with YTB Fatt.
For sure. Y'all will go crazy.
He going stupid right now. I fuck with Durk definitely. Well, you know, Durk already came up, so that don't really count as nobody on the come up. I fuck with Boss Man D-Lo, he hard. I been jamming this shit. You know, it's a lot of people right now that's doing their thing. The game got a lot to offer right now. It ain't lacking on music.
Yeah. I recently heard, I would say maybe 2 or 3 songs you did with Boosie. How was that? Considering the personalities in that room, how was that?
That's just like, that's easy. You know, that's something I've been working with since 2009. So we did our first album in 2009. So that's like the easiest person it is for me to work with.
Did he kind of give you some game? Was he a mentor, or was it strictly music?
I learned from him, and we did music together as well. So it's like, it's all in together. You feel me? Like, that's my homie, and I learned from him. So it's always been easy to work with him, though. Like, we understand each other in the studio. Like, I say a couple of words, and he'll just take over from there. I already know what the hell I'm finna say or what I'm finna do. Like,
So can you share any memorable experiences or challenges you faced in your career as a rapper? Nothing negative, just positive, that you overcame.
a big challenge for me used to be like going into public places and being social, because I came from an environment where we really wasn't social or friendly. When I first got in the industry, they had to give me like media training to even make me do interviews. I ain't want to do interviews. I ain't want to be around people doing meet and greets. I ain't want to do none of that. Like, you got to think I came from Shreveport, Louisiana. I just wanted to, you know, kind of like stay to myself. But I had to learn that I was taking something from one environment into the next environment that didn't need to go to the next environment. I needed to be social in these environments, you know. I'm in a situation to get a serious bag, so right now I need to familiarize myself with the right people so I could build relationships. You dig what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like,
Networking is key.
Yeah, I had to learn how to network.
So how has the evolution of hip hop over the years changed your approach to music, and where do you feel like you fit in right now?
Man, I ain't never stopped studying this shit. Like, a lot of people, when they take a break, it's hard for them to come back. A lot of people from my era of music don't sound like it's supposed to be coming out right now, but when you listen to Hurricane Season 2 or anything I'm putting out, I'm stepping on next. You gonna get any of this shit that's out right now, you gonna be able to hold my shit next to it and say, yeah, he coming like he's supposed to come. You feel me?
For sure.
Yeah.
I can definitely see it when I saw you release a snippet. And I was like, man, it don't sound like he fell off at all. It doesn't sound like it's the same flow. It don't sound like an old flow. It really sounds like you were happy with music again.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
That's where we at with it right now. You know, I just like music. That's what it is with me. Like, I just like music. So I ain't never based myself on no particular style or nothing like that. So wherever the game go, I'm gonna be able to follow it.
So with the game changing, sometimes it's fast paced, sometimes it's slow. How do you approach, you know, contracts and deals and whatever it is you're doing business wise? With the game changing so fast, how do you approach it now? Because you're gonna have to approach it differently. How would you approach it?
I mean, with deals and contracts, I approach all that with a lawyer. That's just plain and simple. Like, anytime I'm doing business, I'm gonna make sure it's being read over by a good attorney who can make sure that it ain't nothing in there that's gonna harm me. And I'm gonna ask a million questions. So, like, that's priority, you know, with doing business and contracts. You feel me?
And I think that's important when you're doing business. Never just sign. You know, like he might tell you he giving you 80K right now, but you don't know what he's taking from you.
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
same,
A lot of
you know?
people get caught up in bad contracts like that. You know, you take the money and sign just because the money in front of you. But you gotta tell them, hold up, let me take this and let my lawyer look at it. You feel me? Because you could be signing your life away and not knowing it. Like, I'm definitely letting the lawyer look at anything I got something to do with.
For sure. So the reason I brought up your snippet was because I also noticed, did my little research, but there is speculation that there was a misunderstanding between you and another Louisiana rapper, Kevin Gates. Would you elaborate?
If you listen to the song, it's called.
I did.
The name of the song, it's called Relationships. I basically just was responding to a song he made. That's all I was doing.
I think you handled it gracefully. I don't think you made it worse or you took any underhanded shots. I felt like you kept it real and thorough.
Yeah,
so that's why I wanted to know, because I was like, he doesn't seem as affected as somebody else would, Yeah. So I just wanted to see, like, maybe was there a point where you was like, that's Kevin Gates, or was it something actually personal?
I mean, I basically just was responding to the song that he made. You feel me? Like, he said what he had to say, and I said what I had to say. Like,
respectfully.
You feel me? Like, and that's what it is.
Respectfully. So, looking back on your career, what do you consider your most greatest achievement? Was it pushing through all the bull crap, or was it making multiple hits?
I think my greatest achievement was getting into the music game and being able to take care of my family. Buy my mama a house. Take care of the people in my house. Like, my kid to be able to get whatever he want, whatever he asks for, if he deserve it, if you know what I'm saying. Like, my greatest achievement was to chase this financial route, because without that bag, it ain't no telling where I'd be at. Like, when I caught my case, the only thing that saved me was having a bag. That's it.
So you're very family oriented, right? So what's one important thing you would give other rappers to focus on besides chasing girls, chasing clubs all night? Tell them something about, being family oriented that's not a bad side. That's not as quiet and boring as people make it seem. Because I know a lot of people who feel like if you're not in the club with millions of chains on, throwing $80,000 every other night, you're pretty much boring. You're pretty much not him. So for you, what can you tell people that follow that mindset and want to do something different?
I mean, if you're a young rapper, they gonna have to like live their life and mature over time. Like, it ain't really gonna be too much you could tell a youngster. He gotta really go through he gotta get it out of his system. I was the same way when I was young. Shit, like, I was trying to take 30 females to the hotel room after the club. So I understand where they head at. So the only thing I can tell them is be safe, use protection, and use security, and don't have your jury on you when you're in a hotel room with these females. You take some females in a hotel room with you, give your jury to your manager, let them take that to a whole nother room, all your money, all your valuables, put that in another room. Don't go to sleep. After you finish doing what you're doing, make sure they get out, you know what I'm saying? Like, them the only rules I can tell them, because they gonna wild out.
For sure.
Like, they gonna wild out. I can't expect everybody to be how I am. I've been in a relationship for 15 years, so I always had somebody with me, you understand what I'm saying? For a long time, at least. Like, I was wild at one point, but for a long time I had somebody with me. Like, but I can't expect everybody to be in this situation. There's some cats my age that's still living a life, you know what I'm saying? Like, they still ain't trying to have a relationship. So the only thing I can do is get them information on how to be safe doing what they doing. Because everybody don't want to be in a relationship in a house chilling with their feet up in a Versace robe,
I would.
watching the 80-inch TV. With the, you know what I'm saying? Everybody don't want to do that. Some people want to go be turned up out, chasing this and chasing that.
Yeah.
You feel me? So only thing I could tell them is be safe.
So was it a specific situation that happened, or you just you just outgrew it and was like, you know what?
Nah,
I'm
my
gonna do it better
daddy
now.
always had an old lady. Like, my dad always had a girl. He always had somebody in the house. I mean, yeah, it definitely can play a part. It can play a part. Or you could just be different from your pops and just want to be a whore. So it's like, you know, like, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I just knew I wanted to have somebody cooking me a hot meal every day.
You know?
You know, and I need to know how this food gonna taste and be used to this taste and have it fine-tuned to my liking, you know, and I can't do that if I'm over her house one night and her house the next night and her house the next night, and I gotta worry about her baby daddy kicking in the door and her ex kicking in the door. It's just too much. My nerves too bad for me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I like my house. I like to kick it in my own environment. You understand what I'm saying? It's just how I always been. I just never been that friendly to want to be around that many people. You understand what I'm saying? Like, nah.
So, with all you've been through and all the years that have passed, what keeps you motivated to make music still?
Man, music is something that I had a passion for since I was a little boy. I don't think it's ever gonna leave me. Like, it's embedded into my system. Like, you got people that learn how to do music and they start making money, and they might eventually fall out of love with it. But this is something I've been doing since I was down there 11 years old. So it's like, before I even knew I could make money off of it, I love to do it. It's just who I am as a person. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be who I be. I am who I am. It is what it is. You feel me? Like.
But so before we get out of here, can you leave a small message to the fans or to people that's trying to get out of a bad way in life and come up, whatever it might be, clothes, music, acting, anything dealing with entertainment? What piece of advice can you give them to help them along their journey?
Don't get stuck on telling people your ideas. Just do it. Just put it in motion. Because if you're looking for somebody to tell you, yeah, that's a good idea, you need to do it, that ain't gonna happen. Whatever your ideas is, put that shit into motion. You live one time. Don't be 100, don't be 80 years old saying, I should have did this, I should have did that. You could do two things, win or lose. Go ahead and throw your cards on the table and see what's gonna happen. Ain't no sense in waiting on nothing. Start wherever you at. If you looking busted and disgusted, then start from being busted and disgusted and build it up. Start from wherever you at. That's it.
For sure. Well, it's been great. It's been an honor having you. We've been talking facts with Flack all day. I ain't heard nothing but facts. You know, I appreciate you for coming through. Sign out. Let the people know what you got coming up and where they can find your social handles.
Say, man, you already know what it is. It's Hurricane Chris. Follow me on Instagram, Hurricane Chris Official. That's what it is. And go get my new mixtape, Hurricane Season 2. I'm rocking with the debut like that. Brat.
That's a wrap.
Yes, sir.
That is a wrap.